Welcome to the Small Business Rally Point for Monday, September 14th. Hey, I like that day. Oh, it's my birthday. I'm Pat Miller. I'm the Idea Coach, and I'm having a good day today, but we'll see if that lasts through this show because against my better judgment, I'm turning over the reins in a few moments to Andy Weins, who's going to co-host with me. And they came up with this idea of interviewing me on my birthday, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to be fun either way, so thank you for joining in today. The Small Business Rally Point is our weekly chance to talk and see what's going on in the small business community, and it's sponsored by Serendipity Labs and the award-winning Idea Collective for small business owners. Thank you to the membership. Big shout out to Jennifer Buchholz, who is the showrunner, my business BFF, and the one pushing the buttons. And a couple of things you want to be aware of. If you want to become a part of that Idea Collective community that I mentioned, you can get on the waiting list right now because it's not open to new members, but it opens up on October 5th. Text the word BIZ to 414-240-1315. And you can get on the waiting list for when we reopen the doors on Monday, October 5th. The other thing to be aware of, on Tuesday, September 22nd, we are hosting Paul M. Newberger, the author of The Secrets to Cold Call Success. He's going to do a private webinar for members of Brand Crafted and the Idea Collective, and tickets are on sale right now. Just text the word school to 414-240-1315, and you can be our guest at Night School. So like I mentioned, we're going to do something we've never done before with Andy Weins, and we'll do that in just 1 second. I just want to do a little bit of a sneak preview because we'll do the interview, but we're also going to make sure that we do our Small Business Rally Point Roundtable. And here's our question for today. So start thinking about this. And this is inspired by the accountability group inside the Idea Collective. So inside the Idea Collective, we thought, how can we do better? How can we get better results? And we thought a little bit of accountability would go a long way. So we started a group, and every Monday I post in there, what are you trying to get done this week? And then you put it in there. And then on Friday at 4 o'clock, we have the Friday finish line where, did you do the thing? To quote Andy. So here's what I'm asking you today in the Small Business Rally Point Roundtable. What is your number one priority right now? Now, that might not be the thing you're trying to do this week, but just in general, what is your number one priority? And what I'm thinking here is that someone like Beth might say, you know, I'm looking for someone to help me with this. And then someone on the call might be able to help Beth with whatever that thing might be. So that's the Rally Point Roundtable question. What is your number one priority right now? Okay. My number one priority is to survive the next 20 minutes. So with that, Andy Weins, I am going to turn the call over to you. Oh, thank you very much, Abby Miller. I appreciate it. Hey, thank you. I love it.
They are in the same house. I never knew if that was a real thing.
Look at that.
Huh?
Thank you, honey. Should I make a wish? Am I going to make a wish? I'm going to make a wish. Make a wish. Yay!
You're welcome.
And a beer. So I get a beer. All right, Andy, your interview is going to hurt less because I have a beer now. So
you know what? All your
How are
wishes
you,
and
pal?
dreams came come true. You got a beer, you got a cake, the woman of your dreams, and of course, the one and only AFW joining you in the Pat Miller Idea Collective group, Rally Point, Brand Crafted, to name a few of the businesses.
Whatever.
Studio. We're not even close. Hey, really do appreciate this opportunity. This was a mashup for my good friend, the Susie Moon, out there in western Wisconsin, to sit down and honor Mr. Pat Miller, there it is, on his birthday. Because you know what? There's no better person in this world than J. Pat Miller. And so therefore, we want to spend this opportunity to enjoy this moment with him. And let's talk about him, because if there's one thing I know about Pat Miller is he is terrible at promoting himself, as he's taking a lot of his time and energy promoting all of these people that I see on the screen. He put you guys first. So today, in your Cubs glass, it's all about you, baby. How are you feeling today on the 14th of September?
I'm feeling old and I'm feeling fat, but besides old and fat, I'm feeling good. So I guess I'll rephrase that to fat and happy. Like, I'm feeling good, man.
That's good. I mean, most days you're fat and happy, and today you're just one day older of being fat and happy.
That's true.
So we got to do it. Okay. So today's your birthday. You're spending it with me. Thank you. And all of us on the call. Why else is today so important in your career?
Well, today's big because our YGTV project got bigger and better because YGTV, the Young Guns movement, we started a TV channel on YouTube, and we have 4 shows, and my first show went live today. So Young Guns Roundtable went live today.
So there we go. See, now whenever you watch the Jay Leno's of the world, talking about my generation, more probably Johnny Carson, your generation, you got to have a thing you talk about when you're doing a thing, right? So we got to plug the thing that Pat Miller, today is important. It all worked out well.
Right.
Dates and times that he is releasing his roundtable show, which was 100% him, which jumps into something I find interesting about you. We've known each other for 2 years plus, and like I said before, you do a lot to promote other people, but I don't think you do a great job promoting yourself. And I got thinking today, Pat does all these things for other people, but why? And I think that's the question I want to hear the answer to most of. Why the Idea Collective? Why are you an idea coach? Why do you do all these things where you put others first? What is that intrinsic motivation that motivates Pat Miller?
That's a good question. I'll answer it in 2 parts. I like helping people. I like seeing people succeed. You know what I really like is I like people who don't know how good they are, and I help them get better. Right? I like seeing talent in people and helping them get ahead and realizing their talent. And a lot of folks on this call and a lot of people in the Idea Collective, that's really what we're doing in Idea Slam is, why are you special? What about you is different than everybody else? Because when you tap into that thing, whatever their special gift is, and they get further ahead, that feels really good to me. Like Lynn Karazi, the data magician, right? You help somebody like Lynn Karazi explain to everyone what he does. The dude is so insanely smart, and you give him something like that, and now he's going to make $1 bazillion, and I'm so happy for him. And there's people all up and down the line that I've worked with that I'm excited to see them grow. So yeah, I like helping people and seeing them succeed. That's fulfilling. And why the Idea Coach? It's because I'm insanely competitive. I am insanely competitive. And everything in my life is competitive. And I'm the Idea Coach because I love the buzz that comes with coming up with an idea that somebody else can't. I love the challenge of, well, there's nothing we can do about this. No, wait a minute. No, let's dig into it a little bit. I love that. So to me, it's really a competitive game, and it just, I don't know, that's what I love.
I find that remotely very interesting because I don't see Pat Miller's a competitive guy, right?
Oh.
You're a guy that puts other, right. Okay, by show of hands, I can see most of the people on the screen. By show of hands, how many people would use the word competitive in the first 5 words of describing Pat Miller?
Look at that, and everybody's shaking.
I got no's from Roger, Benny on the block. Garrett even looked up for a minute to say no, right? A big thumbs down from Eric Clark joining us in his studio. So that I find interesting. That's why we're doing this thing here we're doing today, because it's you have this perception of who is Pat Miller. We're gonna peel back some layers. I'm gonna borrow my very best Ariel Kopak. We're gonna dive deep real quick.
Oh man.
Nah, I'm kidding. That's Ariel's gig. I'm gonna tell about such a dumb jokes. Although we do have J. Pat Miller trivia coming up at 20 after the hour. So hold on tight.
You're gonna win a T-shirt.
Someone remind me at 20 after we're doing J. Pat trivia.
Ticket to see Bon Jovi if you're caller 10.
Caller 10. Okay, hold on. Let's jump into that. Let's go. What? Here we go. Here's J. Pat trivia for you. What? Where did you come from before this, and how did you get here in our mutual love? What mutual love do we have?
What are you talking about? How did I get to where I am right now?
Yeah,
radio career.
There you go. So,
hey, yeah. So I did. Okay. Well, so I went to Illinois State University, the Harvard of Normal Illinois, everybody's favorite fallback school. And I went there, and I was in the radio station every single day, morning, noon, and night. Summers, I was there 4 years straight every single day except Christmas, maybe. So I loved radio. Got a job full-time in radio before I even left college, went all around the Midwest. Abby and I traveled through Bloomington Normal to Des Moines to Lincoln to Omaha to Milwaukee. And so I thought I thought radio was going to be my career. And then, I got out of it. And now I'm doing this. So radio was the whole thing. And now I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's, that's our connection, right? You were a radio guy for a minute.
Yeah, not nearly. 20 years ago, I was basically in diapers. So yeah, certainly not the extensive career that you have had.
Yikes.
So talk about that. What was that jump? Because you had, right, seemingly a 9-to-5 gig that most people have had.
Sure.
What was the catalyst? What was that moment where you're like, all right, I'm going to give up all this, risk the financial freedom of myself and my beautiful Amy Miller, and jump onto this world that is called entrepreneurship? What happened?
Do you want the real answer, or do you want
Yeah,
the
I don't.
answer?
Yeah, this.
All right.
Yeah, no,
This is
I don't
just
want the
between friends?
garbage. This is. We're having a conversation. Someday I want to have that podcast that is people eavesdropping on my conversations, and that's what this is.
All right. So you're going to
The
get
real answer.
The real answer is I was working way too hard and not being incrementally compensated for what I was doing. I was coming up with big ass ideas. Here's how it would go. I would go sit down with a client. We'd solve the client's problem, and the sales guy would make commission and I would make nothing. And you can only do that for a couple of years before you realize, wait a minute, I'm solving a lot of problems here and I'm not getting there. I'm missing the equity of the ideas I was creating. And at some point, when you do that for a while, it's like, okay, I'm learning. And then it gets to be a point where, wait a minute, I'm leaving a lot of something on the table. There's opportunity to be captured here. So being able to go build my own thing, and that goes to the competitiveness, right? Because I don't talk about that. There's a whole lot of the stuff I never let out behind the curtain, but that's one of them. And you have brought up some of the people that push my buttons, and then you get the real me, and you don't see that very often. So we're not even going to talk about that, but yeah.
Oh yeah, we are.
No.
I'm going to say 2 questions, and I already used them both up. So we got plenty of time to adjust fire as we go.
All right, fine.
People, who are those people that, you don't get named now, but likewise, I came from radio. Pat, also who runs the Rage Room, he came from radio, and he even made the comment the other day off the cuff. The only people that make money in radio are salespeople, and they're selling everybody else's time, talent, and abilities. Which, that's fine.
And God bless them, because without them, there's no paychecks.
Absolutely. So was there a moment, or what you said we're not going to talk about those people. Was there a moment or that critical time where you're like, okay, you know what, F this, I'm gone?
If I was going to continue to grow, I had to go back and be a specialist. I had to be on the air full time every day. And that I would have just hated my life, because it's the same thing every day. So I couldn't do that. Or I'd have to go be just a general manager and probably have to move again. And Abby was doing so well in her studio, and we didn't want to pick up and move, and we like it here, despite all the Packers fans. So, we decided, okay, fine. Well, I got to do something else.
So what did you do then? What was that first step in entrepreneurship like?
Oh, I did it all wrong. My first step was to start hanging around the Brookfield Chamber of Commerce, and that's where I met JB before I even left the radio station. We were networking with one another while I was still there. So I went to the Brookfield Chamber of Commerce and realized, okay, there's some people here that I might be able to help. So that's when I realized, okay, but I did it all wrong. You're supposed to take a couple clients with you. You're supposed to have a bunch of money in the bank. You're supposed to have like a plan. Nothing. No, I just quit, and don't do that. That was not a good plan.
Well, it worked out well. I mean, look at the family and friends and beautiful people you surround yourself with now.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, are there regrets in this moment?
Zero. Negative 4. None. It's the best thing I ever did. I wish I had done it 20 years ago.
Okay, so what was that first moment of, oh shit, failure like?
My first gig, okay, so I left the radio station. The first thing I had to do was go sell. One of my friends was selling, I don't remember, like 2 years ago, there was a big international soccer match at Miller Park. 2 teams from Mexico were playing a game on the field at Miller Park. And the soccer club hired me to try and sell tickets to corporate sponsors. So I was making hundreds of phone calls to people trying to sell Mexican national soccer team tickets at Miller Park. And I realized, what the hell am I doing? Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? We all struggle when we start. I look back on it and think, oh man. And then client number 1 happened. Sarah Nowacki, Platinum Travel. Client 1 in the Client Hall of Fame. So without Sarah Nowacki, I probably would have gone back to radio.
What was that? What was the gig? What was the job? Because what you did before is not what you did now.
No. Well, what I did before was stupid, though, because what I did before was like I was kind of a promotions guy and kind of a marketing guy and kind of a programming guy. I was a little bit of everything. And when I got together with Sarah, she was just starting her business. Her business didn't even have a name yet. No name, no position, no nothing. She just was going to start a travel agency, and she was kind enough to take a chance on me, and we built her business together, and she was client 1, and off we went.
So is it fair to say the first business came and went?
Yeah.
Right? The entire business, right? You had an LLC?
Yeah.
Name, logo, all that.
Got all that. Well, I
And
still have it. I'm doing business as Idea Coach, but yeah, I still have it.
yeah, but the idea here is that you went out into the great abyss of
Mhm.
entrepreneurship with somewhat of a battle plan, and you fell flat on your face,
Oh yeah,
essentially,
hardcore. Yeah.
hardcore. So what are what can be three no shit first 90 days in business lessons learned that you have to learn? Either way, you have to learn them. But if you knew them, you probably would have seen them sooner, seen them faster, or maybe even chased that failure. What are those three lessons in the first 90 days?
Well, I'll tell you the things that I didn't know were valuable in the first 90 days that I know now. So it's a way to answer the question. The first thing is, if there was a proverbial fire in my business, the first thing that I would grab is my network. The most important piece of anything that I have are the people that I know and my relationships with them. The people that are on this call, the people in Idea Collective, the people on LinkedIn, the people I do business with are the most important part of my business. Because if tomorrow I was going to become a different something, I already have a network established, and that's the thing I didn't appreciate at first. I didn't network. I didn't get it. I didn't know how can I help you was the way to do it. I didn't know the way to actually make a good impression and earn relationships is to actually just show up and help people and don't ask for anything. You do that for 2 years and you end up having a decent network. So that's the first thing that I didn't really appreciate, and I know that now. That's the
Okay,
first.
so either bring your network with you or put the time in to build a network.
Mhm.
What other lesson do you think you learned in those first 90 days? You said what not to do, kind of with the selling of um, the soccer gig.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you the other two things I've learned since. The first 90 days, again, was I was healing, actually. It took me 6 months to get back to my normal self. I was really a mess. Um,
There's one,
yeah. Oh, I
right?
was a mess.
That transformation,
Yeah.
right? You're going to go through the grieving process anytime in life that you lose this thing that you identify as.
Oh,
Go through a
absolutely.
divorce, lose a business, lose a job, right? You're going to go through the 5 steps of grieving: the anger, denial, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. You go through that, right? Hell, lose a big client. You go through that, right? You're pissed off. And you're like, well, what if I, and then if I could have. So 6 months it took you to get through, not over, right? You got to go through the process, not over, around, and above the woods, through the woods of grieving the loss of your previous title, position, accolades, all of the above.
Everything changed. I didn't know what I was going to sell. I didn't know what I could charge. I even changed my name. My name, the only name I ever used professionally was JPad Miller. Always, always. And just that. And I stopped going by that because it wasn't me. It never was me. And that was a huge shift in my mind to be more myself. The promise I made myself when I left the radio station was better or worse, I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to compromise. I'm going to do what I think is right. I'm going to help people in the way that I want to help them. And when you do that, and that's why the people that I've worked with professionally since then, that's why I'm so passionate about, okay, why are you special? What do you do? What is your thing? How are you different? And embrace it. Just jump out of the plane with it. Because when you do that, you're going to be more authentic. You're going to resonate at a different frequency, and you've got a much bigger chance of success.
All right, so we dug in a little bit of the why we're here today, how we got here, and now let's talk about it right now, here and now, right? You're the man. 3 tips: being a business owner, being a thought leader, being a business disruptor. What are the 3 tips that we might have seen, we might have heard, but the no shit, brass tacks, Pat Miller believes these 3 things to be true to be successful as an entrepreneur?
You have to be known for something, and you have to be unafraid to chase a very narrow target audience with it. You cannot be all things to all people. You might as well not try. That's the first thing. The second thing is the power of digital replication is unmatched. It's a force of the universe. It's as powerful as compound interest. You have to have something you can sell digitally. That's been a huge aha moment for me. And we can look back now as an autopsy. The people that had digital products in March are way better now than the people that did not have digital products in March. And the third thing, and I said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. It's never bad time to show up and just ask someone, how can I help them? And don't worry if or when they're ever going to pay you. If someone tells you don't give away all the answers, don't listen to them. The only way to make true, authentic connections is to be real and help and help and help. And eventually someone's going to help you out. And that's just, at least that's what I believe. That's how I try to do it. So those are 3 things that I absolutely believe in. And the other thing is, And this is the scary part, is that just be yourself and put yourself out there, right? Step out from behind the curtain and just be yourself. And that can be really scary for a lot of people, me included. And that's one thing that I've done in the last 6 months is I've been in front of the camera, behind the microphone, way more than I ever have before, really uncomfortable about it. But it helps a lot because people get to know you better.
All right, excellent. All right, so we're going to wrap this up here shortly. We got a couple call-in questions from the audience.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. So a couple of them, we'll do one real quick. All right, so from Miss Ariel Kopek, my business better half, she says, Pat, why leveling up the Idea Collective and why be a leader in the Young Guns movement? So what prompted you to get involved with Young Guns? An idea not of your own, but that one that you accelerated at a very fast and rapid pace.
Well, I'll tell you why I got involved with Young Guns. It's because of you. That's why. If you remember, and I know David Bellman's on the call, so I'm going to say some stuff with mad respect. If you remember in October, I was in your LinkedIn messages and on your text saying, bro, I know what you're trying to do, but this is not working. And I was very direct. I wasn't like out of love. I was trying to help you guys, but you had some serious problems. So I jumped in to try and help. And then again, same story. I didn't expect to get paid. I didn't come to you saying, Andy, give me money. I just decided to help. And then it worked out eventually. So the reason why I got involved with Young Guns is I saw what you had. And I knew that with the three of you guys involved, it was going to be good, but I knew I could help you. So I wanted to come in and try and help it. So that's why I got involved with Young Guns. And then once I got involved, it's like, okay, well, what can we do next? Right. And that's where Young Guns TV came into it because we had to do something. So that's why Young Guns and why the Idea Collective is that I saw a market opportunity. Brand crafted is great. We can network all we want, but there's not a place to collaborate. I didn't see a place that was like it. And it wasn't come to the Pat Miller School of Business. It was not come to my TED Talk. It was, let's just get people together, and a way I could serve them is facilitate. So that's why I did Idea Collective.
So, and that's great. And that's a good note to end on, is the fact that I met you for the very first time when you came out to a open mic night for entrepreneurs. I put on a gig with a couple Marquette college students, and it was just that. It was, hey, I'm a keynote speaker. I have no clue what I'm doing. Let me bring some other keynote speakers that have no clue what they're doing, and we're going to do the thing. And we put on with a 4-week lead time and no shit, handmade for flyers, put on a little gig. We had about 40 people in the audience, which consisted of the 10 speakers, 20 of their closest family and friends, and 3 or 4 people that were lost, including Pat Miller. And he showed up to say, okay, here's the thing, with people doing the thing. And he was one of 2 people that were incredibly out of place, but he showed up. And from that point on, right, it was he gave first. He came and supported me, supporting others, and then that turned into I reached out to Pat, and he was instrumental. He was the first person I talked to when it came to putting together my TEDx talk, which led to, hey, he reached out to me and said, hey, I see what you're doing with Young Guns. And then he reached out to me, and then I reached out to him with Idea Collective and vice versa. And again, this is where with people, as we're networking, it's not about making a dollar now. And I think a lot of people on this call realize and recognize that. But when we're in sales mode and when we're in struggle mode, all we're looking for is that next bit of revenue. But it's a great reinforcer that it's also about connection. The revenue will come. Those are the points on the scoreboard at the end of the day, but you got to put in the work. You got to put in the practice. And in this hustle, networking and connections, that is the ante. That is the practice. And you don't see it actualized until you get out in the real world, and then there's dollars and cents exchange. So
well, and
it was a great question by Ariel to kind of, how did we get where we're at today?
Sure. I will jump in just for a second, though. And the reason why I'm working together with you, and I always have and tried to support you, is I think if you remember, one of the first things that I said to you is, you're a talent. I treat you like you're a morning show host, because you can talk to a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy and say, hey, you know that guy in the camo pants? Oh, yeah, that guy. They all know you because they all know what, and you're being very authentic to yourself. That underscores the thing that I'm talking about being yourself, being unique, and running for office on it. And you do a great job of it. So that's one of the reasons why I like to work with you.
Oh, I do appreciate that. I always, don't need the praises, but hey, I'll take them. All right, so we're going to do some rapid fire. We got 3 minutes, no less than. I'm already 5 minutes over my allotted time, and JP's yelling at me, as she should, because it takes a lot of handlers to make this look good. All right, so we're going to do little rapid fire questions with Pat Miller. Here we go. All right, So this one came from the audience. Favorite crappy dessert-like item from the 7-Eleven?
Oh, Reese's peanut butter cups, probably.
There we go. All right. Someone said Ho-Hos or Twinkies. We're going to put down Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
With terrible sports teams, are you more – which is your favorite terrible sports team? Because they're all bad.
Bears fan through and through.
Okay, I wasn't sure. You have the Cubs glass, so I wasn't sure.
No,
Okay,
Bears all day, all day.
The team
Now,
that, if you're going to have a team that wins once a century, you got to pick one or the other. So,
now, see, the Cubs won the World Series. Now, when the Cubs won the World Series, okay, quick story. So I don't know if you remember.
That was a rapid fire.
No, I'm sorry. I got to tell a quick story. So you remember when the Cubs won the World Series, right? And if you remember correctly, in Game 7, they were up. And in the 8th inning, the dude hit a home run and tied the game. And I thought for sure, here we go. It's going to happen again. It was the most devastating moment of my life. And at that point, I said, if the Cubs win the World Series, I will not ask for another sporting thing the rest of my life. I'm good. And they did. So I'm a huge Bears fan, but I'm no longer come on, I just want them to win. No, I'm good. I've used up all my stuff. My life is complete. The Cubs have won the World Series. I remember the moment when Bryant threw the ball to Rizzo. The game was over. The Cubs won the World Series. I collapsed on the floor. It was unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I'm sure Abby loves hearing how wonderful a moment that was in your life.
Oh, it was
the birth of children.
No.
20 years of marriage, what have you.
No, Cubs won the World Series. Yeah, that was it. Because I could share it with Abby, of course. That's why.
Oh, of course. Naturally. Okay. Favorite band of all time?
Favorite band? REM.
Yeah. Okay.
REM, for sure. REM.
I'm like watching Abby if she knows these questions.
That'd be fun. That'd be good.
When did you decide you were bald enough to no longer get haircuts?
Oh, that's funny. I don't know, Abs. What was I, like 27? Like, it was young. I haven't been to a proper barber in a long time. I shave it myself.
The last time you actually got a proper haircut, 27-ish?
Yeah. It's been a long time. This is a home do, sadly.
Oh no, I just.
And I'll tell you another thing. Of the medical inventions, if the hair treatment would work, I would get it tomorrow. I would get it tomorrow.
So that's like your number one goal. Like, that's the thing.
Absolutely. If it worked. And here's my rule. If Matt Lauer could still be bald, it must not work. Because if it worked, Matt Lauer would get it because he's $11 trillion and he's bald and he's on TV every day. So if Matt Lauer can't get it, it doesn't work.
All right. And final question. If you could wave a wand and change one thing in the world, what would it be?
Oh, God. One thing in the world?
Yeah. Wave a wand, the thing goes away or changed or fixed. That might not be very rapid fiery.
It's a little deep. Okay, give me yours. I need to know. What would yours be?
Fuck, I don't know. I'm not the one asking questions here.
I know.
I would get rid of landfills. Like, I hate landfills, right? That'd be like my one thing. Like, let's get rid of landfills. Let's figure out a way to recycle everything.
Yeah. Boy, I don't even know that answer, man. Probably Aaron Rodgers would retire. That'd be like the best thing in my life because all that dude does is win. He wins they could be down 2 touchdowns. I know that guy's going to come back and win. I hate that guy. I hate that guy.
There you go.
He's
all right. So past most hated person, Aaron Rodgers. There we go. That wasn't the question, but that is our answer.
Here's the thing. I look a lot like him. Seriously. No, seriously. If you do, honestly. I've done side-by-side pictures before.
All right, hold on. There we go. Ready?
What?
Let's do all right, we're going to do a poll. This is not part of the regular scheduled programming.
What?
All right, we're going to do a poll. Who looks more like Aaron Rodgers? Andy or Pat?
Oh, no, I'm telling you.
Go ahead and post your answers in the chat, people. Go ahead and post your answers in the chat.
There we go.
Pat?
Ariel doesn't count.
No, I'm telling you. People have told me that forever.
No one's ever told.
Oh, good job. Garrett says, sorry, I don't follow baseball.
Honestly. Abby, back me up on this. Come on now.
I have her muted. No.
Oh, well, that's fine. Anyway. And that's hurts.
JB said I'm over my time. She's been telling me this whole time.
Oh, I
do appreciate the opportunity. Pat, today is all about you. As a friend, I do appreciate your friendship as a mentee. I think that's the right word. Pat's been a great mentor of mine. I do appreciate the opportunity not just to spend your birthday with you, but be part of the Rally Point pretty much since inception, and continue to build on this entrepreneurial dream that we are all building together within the Idea Collective. So thank you for taking the hot seat here with Andy Weins, and I will turn it right back over to you, Pat, right after sports.
Well, so actually,
after this,
why don't we go ahead and, Andy, why don't you tell our fabulous trivia contest winners what they possibly could win today? We have dropped the link for trivia in the chat, and you're welcome to go visit that site. Pat will have to go through and share his answers with the crowd, some of which were given away in the interview. But yeah, there's so much more.
So the winner of the September 14th edition of Rally Point, Pat Miller Extravaganza birthday style, is lunch, the #1 lunch in town with yours truly, the king of lunch, the man that does lunch better than anybody else. This guy. I'm buying. We're eating at the Butler Inn. We're going to have ourselves a great time. Lunch is on me for those that win the trivia contest. And if we're lucky, Pat Miller might make a guest appearance at said lunch.
Salmonella at no charge.
Right? So while we're working today on our question of the day, which is coming up next, we'll turn it back over to Pat. Go ahead and just take a quick minute and do your trivia questions, because the winner will be announced by Pat at the end of the show. We have to leave a couple minutes so he can review the answers and make sure we know which is the right answer, and we'll go from there. Pat, back to you.
Look at all. Oh, come on, man. Now I'm getting a load of these questions. Seriously? I better get them right now that I'm looking at
Abby, we did it. We did it.
Oh, honey. All right. I know where you live. Andy, that was very kind. And it truly made me feel really uncomfortable. So that was fun. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And JB and Abs, thanks for that. Now you got me going. Why did you do that? Now you got me going. All right. So here's what we're going to do for the rest of the call. We're going to turn the call over to you because it's time to do the Young Guns Roundtable. But I do not want to get, or the Small Business Rally Point Roundtable, but I don't want to get to that until I at least make sure that we share the link and talk about Young Guns Roundtable. It is out today because Jess Lueck and Spencer X. Smith and Rachel Werner did a conversation with me about what's working on social media right now. And Andy's team did a great job producing it. And the Young Guns Movement's YGTV is live, and it's my first show. So Andy does a monthly show, David does a monthly show, I've got a monthly show, and Paul has a monthly show. So we're now into full rotation, which is exciting. So that's out now. Next month, I'm going to release what's going on with the startup ecosystem in Milwaukee. So I've got Matt Cordio on as one of my guests. It's that one came out great too. So anyway, all right. So roundtable conversation. Now this is where we've got the Scooby snack for the first person that's going to jump in. So jump into the chat if you're ready to answer this question. Scooby snack will be mailed to you. What is your #1 priority right now? What is your #1 priority at the moment? Eric Clark, you're first in the chat. So my friend, I'm going to unmute you. Tell us about your #1 priority right now.
Hey, my #1 priority in starting Exponential Influence, which you helped me with. So thank you very, 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 very much. Look at that, helping others. What a gift you have. Is bring on new business. I actually just brought on 2 co-founders to help with all the work that I'm getting. More than I anticipated starting off in 1 month in. So that's my focus right now, is to see if we can double that in another month.
Yeah, that's exciting. So are you getting enough leads and are you closing them, or are you not getting enough leads? What do you need to do to double it?
I need to work on the system to getting those leads. So okay. I'm kind of like at this little, I don't know, I've been swimming, I jumped on the island, I'm drying off real quick and about to jump back in the water, but I'm just taking a minute to formalize a plan here before I jump back in so we can do it right.
Well, I've said this about you before. I think I said this in my mastermind group when you weren't there. If you were an IPO, I would be buying it right now because your X-Influence company is the bomb. So if you're looking for someone to really kick ass in your social media, Eric's taking on clients right now, and what he's doing is really cool, man. So good luck with that. Who's next, JB? Do you got a list for me here? Because I've kind of lost everything. I see Rachel is in next. So Rachel, why don't you share with us, what is your #1 priority right now?
I am focused on my team. So I just hired a senior level bookkeeper and focused on getting her up to speed and then handing off a lot of the client stuff that I have been doing so I can focus more on my business.
Very cool. And how is that going so far?
Good so far. It's always more work before it's less work, which is kind of where I'm at right now. But the end goal is going to be amazing. So I'm excited.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Lisa Rabel, you are next. What is your number one priority right now?
I just started this week with my new personal rebrand. So rebranding Rebel Girl Marketing instead of like looking like an agency to make it about me, because that's the one thing that was missing off of all my marketing was myself. So.
Now, can you relate with the stuff that Andy was saying? Because I just went through that journey there where it was Small Step Solutions. Now it's Pat Miller Idea Coach, which made me feel icky and weird. But now that I'm on the other side of it, I love it. Have you just not positioned yourself that way? Or has it been somewhat what I was feeling where, well, I got to have a company name. I can't just be myself. Did you ever feel that way?
Right, which is kind of the way the website looks like. It's like I'm an agency when I'm not. It's just me. So what I'm going to do is I'm not renaming the company. It's still going to say Rebel Girl Marketing, but it's going to be me. Like I'm going to use myself as Rebel Girl. So it's like this whole like rebranding. I mean, everything from content to photo sessions to videos. Just a total. I'm doing for myself what I've done for other people, I guess. So.
And how does that feel? Are you excited about that?
No, it's weird.
It is, isn't it?
It's so weird. It's like, I actually have a team of my friends who are the most honest people that I can, like, I pulled all my, like, very honest friends. Like, my girlfriend stayed here for, like, 2 hours yesterday and told me out of my closet what I looked like crap in and what I looked good in. I mean, she'd be like, I'd walk out, she'd go, oh, no. You know, so, like, it's, like, weird. You have to, like, pick out clothes and do all this stuff, and it's bizarre. But it'll be great. I'm looking forward to the journey, so.
That's a real friend. They can tell you that you look good in something and don't look good in something else.
Yeah, she didn't have to say anything. I just have to look at her face and be like, yeah. Okay, I'll turn around and walk back to my closet.
Yeah, that's a no for me.
Right.
Well, good luck with that, and exciting to see you rebrand and put yourself in front. How about Claire? What is your number one priority, Claire?
Hello. Well, the number one priority is in my arms, right?
I know, let's see.
She's kind of dozing off. Yeah, just getting things back on track, sort of digging into business this week. Just a little bit here and there, getting back on track with client projects and yeah, learning my new normal, right?
And how has that adjustment been? Has it been good?
It's been good. Yeah. She's a good girl. She lets us sleep at night for 4 or 5 hours. So really can't ask for more than that from a newborn.
Well, it's exciting to see you again, and congratulations once again.
Thanks for letting this be my first little like tester networking event.
Baby's first networking, right?
Yes.
There we go. Very good. Oh,
Call her a snooze, but well, I'll show her off sometime.
Second networking event next week.
Yes.
We expect to see you. All right, thanks. Lynn Crosby, what is your number one priority right now, friend?
Hey, good afternoon. It is to follow up the success I had last week with the webinar that I had. Pat was a huge part of my first webinar. And he and I are co-hosting the next 4 episodes together and probably beyond that because I got rave reviews on him. And Eric Clark is helping me also then take some of that and use it into marketing. But it's actually now following up with the people who now said, yes, I'm sorry we missed it. We want the links, getting those out. But then also then thinking about, we got another one in literally 3 weeks now that we'll get to do it again. And so it's...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for folks that missed it, what was the subject?
So the name of the whole webinar series is based on, it's the behaviors of business and the data behind it. So what is business? Business is relationships. Relationships depend on behavior. And so it's really exploring all those different things. And the very first episode was that typical episode or behavior of businesses to do a SWOT analysis and spend this 2 hours thinking, yes, we got all this out of it. And I think Pat helped describe why those weren't as good as they could be. And we offer some really good ideas about what else you could be doing with your SWOTs to make them more effective.
Yep. And do you have the link for that?
I will drop the link in the chat here, yes.
Or at least you want people to get in touch with you to get the link. Is that right?
Either way, yeah. Actually, just drop me a note and in the chat and just say, yes, I would like it. And I'll make sure you get it out this afternoon.
Yeah, it was interesting because everything you know about doing a SWOT is wrong. And you learn that after you talk to Lynn for about 5 minutes. And it really shows how data injected into your SWOT makes it go so much better. So if you do a SWOT, you definitely want to get in touch with Lynn, because it was really great. All right, cool. Lynn, thanks a lot. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, Consuela Munoz, what are you working on right now? What is your number one priority?
So number one priority is generating some excitement for the events, Smash the Saboteur events that we have coming up in October.
Well, tell us about that.
So Smash the Saboteur, everybody has those inner saboteurs, those negative thoughts, that voice in your head that says horrible things to you. And Smash the Saboteur is an event where we're going to do a little bit of identifying, and then we're going to go partner with the folks over at Rage Room, and we're just going to beat the crap out of some things that are labeled as our saboteurs, and then just have a little bit of debrief on how it feels to physically beat up your saboteur.
So putting that into practice, I'm worried about people, what they'll think of me if I say the wrong thing. We write that on a light bulb and then beat the crap out of it. And it feels good. It makes us feel good, right?
We'll probably write it on a Post-it note and put the Post-it note on the light bulb, but
got it. Fair enough.
we will be naming our saboteurs and then smashing them.
Nice. And are tickets on sale for that yet?
Tickets are on sale. They are $75. We are looking to try to get some sponsors if they want to sponsor some women or some groups, and sponsoring because it's October. We're doing this as a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. And so we really want to generate a lot of excitement and get people to show up and help for a good cause, as well as to help themselves.
It's awesome. Very, very cool, and a great way to raise some money and some great awareness. Now, you've been working really hard on that, so good for you. And I won't even talk about how amazing your cookies are, but Consuela is also like the greatest cookie baker in America. We got to do that bake sale. We got to do that.
Now that you said the cookies, I mean, anybody who comes to the event, there's a little snack area. There will be Mama Chickadee's cookies in the snack area. So
why didn't you lead with that? So get together and eat some cookies.
I should've
And
been
we'll do everything else.
Real quick, a little behind the scenes action.
Oh yeah, show it.
I know.
Let's go live.
I know people like Pat Miller and Consuela like Post-it notes and whiteboards and all those conference roomy things. That's not how we do things here at the Rage Room. So you said we're putting on a Post-it note. We're gonna expel those demons. No, fuck that noise. We're gonna use spray paint. We're gonna spray it on glass and fish tanks and desks and projection screen TVs. You're gonna get it all out, and then you're going to beat the shit out of it with a baseball bat, a sledgehammer, a golf club. Let's not church it up and pretend it's not what it is. You're going to take those self-limiting beliefs and you're going to take them to the backyard outside behind the woodshed and get it where they belong. So let's not build this as, hey, it's going to be a good feel good. You're going to feel great afterwards, but you're going to own those limiting self-beliefs.
Are you taking us to the Rage Room right now?
We could. I mean, it's just over.
Is that
here.
where you're going? I can't tell where you are. You're making me dizzy.
I sat still for almost 40 minutes.
I know.
We know how twitchy we get.
All right. We'll come back to you when you get to the Rage Room. Lori Hybe, what are you working on right now? And I know you got some really cool stuff cooking.
Oh, there's always something crazy going on. But right now, I'm personally building a ridiculous amount of content, videos, blogs, podcasts, webinars. I mean, it's just endless right now. We're just trying to really maximize the rest of 2020 to knock 2021 out of the park.
That's awesome. Can you talk about the website production that you're doing and the new products that you're launching?
Oh yeah, the Bamboo Reach stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
So
that's
awesome.
We've really kind of offered, I guess, pivot, as much as we all love that word right now, to really support the solo and micro business owner. So we've got website offerings that are very black and white. This is exactly what you get. You supply the content, you build it out in Squarespace. Our value add is that you've got professionals and experts mapping out the strategy so that it's awesome and converts. I think JB's got a little conversion already happening with the new site, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, happy to help anyone with that. I love it. It's cool. And we've got a lot of interest already, which is great, but it's easy. And that's the thing that's helpful to the solopreneurs and the micro business owners.
Absolutely. And the stuff you've done for JB is fantastic. How about the content? Where can we get some of your content at?
Oh, webinars. Every other Thursday, we've got webinars right now. my podcast talking about networking, and I'm going to be doing a lot more solo casts talking about digital marketing and building your own content and being a thought leader in your own space. And our blog, our newsletter as well. We've got fantastic information in our monthly newsletter. If you haven't signed up for that, I'll toss the link in the chat for that.
That's awesome. Well, it's neat to see you going that way because I know you're going to help a lot of people. So kudos to you and creating all that great content, man. When you're as smart as you are, you're going to get that stuff out. So that's incredible. Good for you.
Thanks.
Liz Watson, you're doing something for the Idea Collective. I want you to brag on that because you're smart too. What are you doing for the Idea Collective?
Okay, happy birthday. So I want to give back and definitely want to give back to you and this community, Pat. So I'm working on something. I want to help everybody, just like Laura was saying, get ready for 2021. So there's kind of 8 areas to look at behind the scenes in your business. And what I'd love to do is set out 8 different events in the Idea Collective over the next few months and pull in the experts that are a part of that group to talk about that. So if visibility is one of the areas to get strong in your business, who can contribute from within our community to say, hey, for small businesses owners, this is what I suggest, and here's some good tips. So I want to use our collective expertise and support to help each other out.
I love it. I love it. So when do you think that's going to start? End of the month or in October maybe? What do you have in mind?
Let's shoot
October?
for October.
Yeah, that'd be great. So now that there's the obligatory promotion for the community opening up on October 5th. So maybe that's one of the things that we talk about is that we're going to put this 2021 planning happening, right? Because it's a perfect way to talk about what you do and help us get ready for 2021. We maybe can work those 2 things together.
Right. And people can jump in on the ones that resonate with them, right? So we'll do, I'm thinking 8 different sessions over a few months' time.
Yep.
And we'll be ready to rock in 2021.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for giving. I appreciate it. That's what makes it such a great community. So I definitely appreciate it. All right. We're almost out of time here. JB, can you come back on here? I've got a few announcements that we're going to make about some other exciting opportunities, one including an $80,000 advertising buy for your small business. I'm going to share that in just a minute, plus an update on what's going on with our night school that's happening at the end of the month and some other stuff. But how do you want to do this poll here, my dear?
You mean the trivia winners?
Yeah.
Well, I think so when you're running tech and you forget one little thing.
Oh no.
And the other nerd in the group kind of mentions it. Sue, it looks like you know what I forgot. She was not the one who called it out, but Sue, you want to tell everybody what I forgot?
I see.
I know.
You forgot to place for us to give our names for who the winner would be? Correct.
However, even without that, there was a clear winner. So I will figure that out. And yep. Actually, I would like to know, this is the loser. No, the winner. Who guessed that the well-known after-hours late-night third shift waiter job that Pat had was at IHOP?
That was me.
Consuela, you have just won a lunch with AFW.
Hey.
See, I'm good. I could figure that crap out. Anyway, so that's just happened, Consuela. But I do think we need to debrief on some of these answers as well, just to make sure that everybody knows.
All right. Well, what do you want to know?
Pat, the last question that I had on this survey was, what does the J stand for?
Oh, yeah.
And the options were Jamal, Just, or James.
So the funny story about Jamal is I was an overnight waiter and I was working third shift and it was a college town. I was waiting tables overnight at IHOP, college town. Group of guys came in and they were being really, really bad. What's the J stand for? I look them in the face. Jamal. And they got so quiet. It was fantastic. It was the only way I could try and get back to drunk people, besides other things that people do to your food. James is what it stands for.
So, and Ariel just mentioned, actually, holy crap, Ariel just called my attention to the fact that we had a tie. And I would gift you a lunch with AFW, Ariel, because now that puts you at the same level. Denny's was the right answer for that. He did not work at IHOP. He worked at Denny's. It was just the identifying solution. But you have to suffer with AFW a lot. So it's your choice as to whether you're going to take that prize. Yeah. Did she just say she passed? I think she just said she'd pass on it.
You can only have so much AFW, I'm afraid.
Fair.
Maybe there, I'll take it.
Nobody got both of your beers right. They got one, the giveaway beer, and then a couple people got your lawn mowing beer, but nobody got both your beers.
Yes, lawn mowing beer, Miller Lite, and Pseudo Sue. Yeah. Okay. And I was not a baton twirler in high school, you twerp. So what are you doing with that? That's not right. I was a city champion bowler, but not in high school. But I was a competitive golfer in high school, state golf player in high school. Yes.
And I thought the word competitive showing up there, and then several sports that you actually were were using where it was appropriate as well. Indeed. Any other question? Oh, and your instrument?
My instrument, I was trombone. I was a trombone player. Hell yeah. Low brass, man. Low brass for the win. Absolutely. All right. Well,
I think that covers it.
Does that cover it? That's plenty of me. Trust me. Listen, today was a ton of fun, and Andy, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It made me incredibly uncomfortable, but I appreciate the support, and you guys are special. Yeah. All right. So let's talk business here just for a second before we get out of here. I was talking about this really cool $80,000 advertising campaign that's out there for your small business. Let me share my screen so you can see it. So my previous employer, WTMJ and WKTI, they're giving away a Rebuilding Wisconsin business ad campaign to one local small business. And the prize is 50 grand in advertising to be split between TMJ and 94.5 and 30 grand in advertising in Madison. So if you're a small business owner, they have a really simple form to fill out here. And it looks like a neat opportunity. And I'm curious how many entrants that they'll get from this thing. So I would encourage you to spin the wheel and put in an entry on this, because in my experience doing this sort of thing, they may get 100 entries total. So it's an opportunity for you and your business to get in there and tell them why you deserve that ad campaign. And it's a good opportunity. So definitely we'll share that link. Jennifer sent it in the chat. We also put it up in the Idea Collective. We'll put it on Brand Crafted as well. Another thing, an update for the event on September 22nd. Paul M. Newberger, the 3 philosophical pillars of cold call success. I've got a gang of books that I'm going to give away that night too. So we're going to give away a bunch of books to that event. Tickets are only $20. I think we're going to drop that link into the chat. And you can text the word school to 414-240-1315. And there's been some confusion about this. If you're a member of the Idea Collective, you do not need to buy a ticket. Every person in the Idea Collective gets a free seat. If you're not in the Idea Collective, you do have to pick up a ticket, but it's only $20. So jump on that link. Come learn how to sell better and grow your business with what Paul has to teach us. And then what else do I have? Oh, by the way, this is the other thing I have. I'm not here next week. We're talking about YGTV, and today my episode got released. Next Monday during the same window, I'll be filming additional episodes. So I'm not here next week. We are turning over the entire Rally Point call from soup to nuts with Jennifer Buchholz and Michael Rampola. They're in to host Rally Point next week at 3 o'clock. So yes, I know it's going to be great. So with that, I think we've done what we need to do today, because that was a lot of fun and I'm thoroughly embarrassed, but I love you all. So thank you all. I appreciate it. And thanks to JB, the showrunner, for being the best. Thanks to Andy for the interview, and thanks to everybody else that contributed during the Small Business Rally Point conversation. It always makes it fun. So with that, I'm Pat Miller, the Idea Coach. Have a great afternoon, everybody.